And welcome everyone to episode 66 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer at Shonen Jump, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, the English letterer for manga like Dragon Ball Super and Kaiju number 8. And just here ready to talk about some One Piece.
I mean, that's the funny thing about this section is that there's not a lot to dig into, but it's fun.
It's just silliness. Yeah, it's just fun. I thought about the movies while reading.
I had the exact same thought. I kept thinking back to Dead End Adventure so much.
Yeah.
This is just like a manga version of that.
Yeah, which is interesting because I guess if we're covering this, we're covering the movies relative to where the manga was at when they came out, so that means movie 4 was first.
Oh yeah. Movie 4 came out first, and then Davy this whole Davy Back thing.
Interesting. I'm sure like Oda had it planned and was just like, okay, yeah, you guys can do your own thing, but like, yeah, it's interesting how kind of not like super similar, but like similar enough conceptually, and maybe it's just kind of the gaminess and the silliness of it all. But
yeah, maybe it's the chaos of these pirate competitions.
Yeah,
it kind of works, and we'll see how that all. Because I can't remember this section having that much of a impact on One Piece at large. I mean, obviously I'm not fully caught up, but it's not like something I think back to a lot when looking forward to where I stopped. But I don't know. Who knows?
People commonly mistake this as a filler arc. And this arc has a lot of filler in it in the anime version. But,
oh God. Yeah,
like it's that sort of inconsequential enough that it is just kind of like just a silly little diversion.
Mm-hmm. I remember it being infamous that it's much longer. The Davy Back Fight is twice as long in the anime.
Pretty much twice as long. Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah, I think this is around the time when filler started getting rough for One Piece.
Yeah, the pacing in the anime is just oh boy, doesn't get better from here. That's for sure.
We topped out at G8, and then they were like, "Oh God, what do we do?"
yeah. How is that? They we need to put in like a 6-episode filler arc, and then once we go to the next bit of canon material, it's like we need more filler for this too.
I felt that for Naruto. That's when I stopped watching. Yeah. Like I watched those hundreds of episodes in Naruto.
Yeah.
Up until it finally went to Shippuden. It's like, all right. We've had all this time. Shippuden should be way ahead. We should be good to go and just have nothing but straight up adaptation for a while. And then within 5 episodes, more filler or dragging it out. And it's like, nope, I'm done. I was done with the anime at that point.
At least as far as One Piece is concerned, I think there become fewer and fewer like purely anime original arcs after this point. There's a couple of like weird little kind of like side story things, but like sort of the traditional kind of idea of a filler arc that you would see in a like in a shonen anime adaptation. The anime doesn't have too many of those kind of after this point, which I feel like we kind of might need more because they're just stretching out canon material, which is excruciating in its own way. But
yeah, I've heard even in the next arc there was a section where it was just 6 episodes in a row of flashbacks of like
yes,
this is what this was this character's journey and this was this character's journey. It's like that sounds excruciating.
At least in this day and age, you can skip past it.
That is true. But let's actually talk about these chapters as we begin 306, Donut Race, with by far the most disturbing cover I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God.
Stretched out with what are those little like office like clip things?
Yeah.
It's trying to become a flying squirrel. It's disgusting.
It is
frankly
really disgusting to see his. Like, that's something out of a horror show. You see that sort of
his
thing.
Whole body just stretched out.
Oh God!
Paperclip? No, not paperclip, but you know what I mean.
Clippers, whatever. We got it. We don't have to look at it for too long. Unfortunately, those watching on YouTube do. Tough luck.
I do love the flying squirrel next to him is just disturbed.
It's like, what the heck?
Just like, what is...
but yes, we have We return to the manga where Foxy here has issued a challenge to Luffy, and Usopp's like, no, don't accept. Don't accept. It's like, no, he already accepted.
It's too late. It's too late.
And he's like, oh no, it's like, he said he accepted, or aren't you any good for your word? And Luffy's immediately like, I am too.
I do love, we'll see it, just like the interactions between Foxy and Luffy in this set of chapters is so funny.
Yeah.
They're so good at getting under each other's skin in the most stupid ways.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And honestly, Foxy's ridiculous design just works. He comes across as a sleazeball, and that's exactly what he is.
Used car salesman ass pirate.
Yes, exactly. And it's like Luffy's like, I gotta get revenge for the horse, and then the old man gets up. It's like, I gotta shoot him for what they did to the sherry, and it's like, no, wait, no, don't do that. They're pirates. And then we finally go back to the others where Foxy's ship landed. And that's when we get the introduction of what this actually is, the Davy Back Fight. It's a captain to captain proposal. And Zoro's like, oh, a fight? Yeah, I accept, whatever. And Sanji's immediately like, no, this isn't a fight. This is a pirate game. And Robin, kicking in with some history, apparently began long ago on a pirate island, a pirate paradise somewhere in the ocean. In order to get the best sailors, pirates stole pirates from each other. So that's interesting, especially because...
Which makes sense. Like, I mean, if pirates, known for stealing stuff, it would make sense that they would steal crew members from other pirates.
Right. And I mentioned Dead End Adventure before, and that just comes across as the island from Dead End Adventure.
Yeah. It's sort of like, the pirate society that kind of has their own rules and their own customs. And I feel like we don't actually see a whole lot of that in, like, One Piece proper. And I think that's maybe a part of why we liked Dead End Adventure so much, because it was kind of a look at like the seedy underground, here's like how the greater society of pirates actually works, and here's kind of like their rules and their creed and all of that kind of stuff. And this here, the Davy Back Fight is kind of another look at that. Like this is a game that they play with each other.
It's quite the game too, because they're getting challenged to a 3-coin match, basically 3 events, and the winner of each game gets to choose one crew member from the opponent's ship. So that person instantly has to become loyal to the ship that they've been put onto, and because they swear upon Davy Jones. And if your opponents don't have anyone you want, you can strip them of their Jolly Roger, which, that is high stakes, honestly.
Of the very spirit of the crew.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's like, they put 2 and 2 together. It's like, wait, that ship we found earlier where everybody was lethargic and couldn't get together, and it didn't have a pirate flag. What was that? Is this what happened to them? It's like, oh yeah, those guys. They were victims to our game earlier. By the way, here's their captain and their doctor and their navigator and their carpenter. And
we played the 3-coin game 5 times and lost every time. They won 14 crewmen and our flag.
And the fact that they're laughing about it is like,
oh, that happens. C'est la vie.
And Nami's immediately like, we never accept a challenge like that. It's like, yeah, you don't know Luffy.
Yep.
But it's a rules between captains. Once your captain gives the okay, everyone must participate. If you flee the challenge, it's the greatest shame known to a pirate can know. It's like, a little shame isn't too bad.
I love this. Of course, Zoro and Sanji are all in. Nami's like, okay, I got to stop Luffy somehow. Just like as soon as she's trying, the gunshots go off.
Yeah, which signifies the beginning. Real quick though, I gotta mention this. I kind of love the fashion of Robin and Nami in this section.
Yeah, God, yeah. Robin in particular, it's the jacket.
That leather jacket is pretty great. And funny thing is, it's kind of the same style as Trunks.
Yeah. I didn't think about it that way.
Something about that jacket is just always cool, no matter who wears it. We hear the gunshot. Luffy accepted, as they're saying, is like, Zoro's like, yes, as I hoped. And Robin even says, this could be fun. And we go back to it, and Usopp's smacking Luffy.
That's so good. Just idiot.
The only reason it got shot is because Luffy was trying to apparently stop him from shooting the gun and getting targeted.
Oh, is that what that was?
That because he was struggling with the old man before. That's where he got the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, don't do that. They're pirates. And he stopped him and the gun went off, and that's how he accepted.
Oh, my God. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's all that matters is that he's formally accepted the challenge. And Luffy calls him a pinhead, and that just puts... I always want to call him Davy, but no, Foxy into his like stupor.
So he's apparently a very sensitive soul.
Yeah.
He can't take insults too well, despite being a pirate and a filthy cheater.
Mm-hmm. Usopp's always still is like, hey, I get it. When I think about the old man and the horse, I get angry too. But, and then as soon as that happens, Sherry and the old man are like, use that anger against your enemies. And like, you got better
I love
fast.
the little thumbs up from Sherry.
It's so cute. And they're set up for this. This is what they're all about. They set up a carnival. They got lights. They got food. As soon as the next page, with the old man and Sherry on her cart, he's just participating as well. It's Oda just immediately being like, yeah, these two's uses are done. It's not like they have an emotional core. It's just a way to get Luffy to accept this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just like, all right. Yeah, I didn't even notice that Sherry is being pulled along on a little cart. Adorable. I do really love the Davy Back Fight as like a setting, because it's like a carnival. You know, like a traveling circus, which makes sense because Foxy's a huge clown, but although I guess not as much of a clown as Buggy, but I don't know, it's fun.
So we get our rules for the fight. 1. Crew members or flags captured in the Davy Back Fight cannot be reclaimed other through said game. 2. Crew members chosen by the winner must immediately swear allegiance to their opponent's captain. And 3. A stolen flag may never be displayed again.
Nami's having a panic attack.
She usually does. And both Luffy and Foxy swear. The coins get tossed into the ocean in order to give it to dedicate it to Davy Jones, and thanks to Chopper, we learned that Davy Jones was the one cursed by a demon to live down on the seafloor. So
it's interesting, like the Davy Jones thing is like that's like from real life, isn't it? Like so like I'm kind of surprised that like this is a just sort of a straight up a real life concept that exists here in the world of One Piece.
Which is, I mean, it's that's how I sort of felt when they were talking about El Dorado last time.
I
guess they just get their own version. So okay,
does Spain exist in?
Mm-hmm. But the reason it's called the Davy Back Fight is because Davy keeps everything that sinks down to him. So pirates refer to taking what you want from your enemies as Davy back, taking it back. All the while, Foxy is looking at the crew, looking over them all. It's like, who should I take first? And I want him. And we don't see who him is.
He's made up his mind, though.
But he wants him. And so each team gets 7 players for 3 games. And each player can only participate in 1 game. And once you decide, you can't change them. So we just have to win. And Luffy's like, hey, we could even get a shipwright this way.
He's thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm. And they're playing by traditional rules. So there are 3 categories. There are 3 rounds will be the donut race, the groggy ring, and combat. For the donut race, it's Usopp, Nami, and Robin. And then for the groggy ring, it's Zoro, Sanji, and Chopper. And then finally, Luffy for the final round for combat, which, that makes sense.
All right.
We got 2 scaredy cats and the way too calm one in the first one. We got the 2 that cannot work together with the child on the second one, and then Luffy on the other one. Okay.
This is gonna go places.
Oh yes. And we finally get the beginning of the donut race, where the rule is it's an obstacle boat race consisting of 1 lap around the island following the shoreline. You have to make your boat using the wood from 2 oars and 3 empty barrel casks. And use of any other parts will result in disqualification. Because we got a nice little announcer here. Foxy has his own announcer on a bird. So they make their boat, and then Porsche, one of the three main followers we've seen of Foxy, has hers, where we find out they have some men on their team. Fishman Capote and the star-spotted smooth-hound shark Monda, which that definitely seems like an advantage in that case.
Yeah. Well, so Monda is like just an actual shark, right? Not a fishman?
Yeah, he's just a straight-up shark, and he's like, Hey, there's no rules against fish.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey.
We're going straight up Airbud rules.
I mean, hey, they've got Chopper, who is, I mean, sentient, but a reindeer.
True enough. So yeah, everybody's all set to go. We can get this race started.
I do like, just on that last page, or the page before last, with the little side comments about, Usopp's craftsmanship. He's like, is this thing gonna sink? And then just Robin, it'll definitely sink.
Yeah. And I like how there's a lot of conversation between Usopp and Nami. I think it might not be in this one, but they're in the next few chapters. They're like, oh, they'll definitely take me. And Usopp's like, no, they'll definitely want me.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, here there's comments, I don't want that guy. Oh,
poor
gosh.
Usopp.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get to chapter 307. Ready, set, donut. Sure. And yeah, the race is about to begin. We get our rules for this, where it's 1 lap around, and pistols, cannons, explosive, cutlasses, and other lethal weapons are all permitted. So, if you flee in fear, you'll be disgraced. And yeah, no holds bar basically as you're trying to go around the island, which is definitely interesting. And of course, Foxy's all confident here. It's like, we've never lost using the traditional rules. You think it'll even last 5 minutes? Definitely going to be interesting, especially when they toss them eternal poses for the island. It's like, don't be careful not to stray too far. And it's like, why would we stray? Why wouldn't we just stay right next to it so we don't get, so we take the shortest route? And Usopp kind of immediately figures it out.
Yeah, which is honestly really quick thinking on him. I'm kind of impressed.
Mm-hmm. Because as soon as it starts, just everybody opens fire on them.
Yeah, which, I mean, hey, yeah, it's a pirate game. I don't know what you were expecting.
Yep, that about makes sense. And then all of a sudden, a boulder comes out from there. I don't even know who threw that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I imagine it must have been Hamburg, or I don't know.
I guess somebody tossed it. But
it's a full-on boulder.
they're paddling away as fast as they can, and Sanji immediately starts beating up the other pirates. How dare you attack Nami and Robin?
They've got backup.
Mm-hmm. And then we got the return of Fishman Karate, thanks to Capote.
Yeah, which, hey, that's just a kind of a neat little callback.
Yeah, somehow Nami and Usopp keep ending up against these fishmen.
Yeah. Can't avoid them.
Yep, but we do lose a bit of a barrel, but they're still going. Usopp tries to attack back. It doesn't really do much, but we got Robin. And
yes, of course, who's just completely busted.
Yeah, just backbreakers him on top of the shark to knock them both out.
God, this is so good.
Yep. Nami means like, hey, you swim and pull the boat, Usopp. He's like, what? The interactions between Usopp and Nami are always so
like
much
they're
fun.
all. It's fun seeing them like, all right, we need to find a way to speed up.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying whatever they can.
Yeah, and Usopp's like, hey, we have a wind dial, let's use it. And it's super slow. It's like rowing would be faster.
Rowing would be fast. Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And that's when we get the whole thing. It's like, Nami keeps saying, if we lose, they're going to snatch me up because I'm so cute. Usopp says, I'm cute.
I'm cuter. And then the next panel, he's just beaten and bloodied. Meanwhile, Robin is just sitting and reading.
Yeah, but she's rowing.
Yeah. I like the little, like, they kind of chastise her a little bit, like, look what happens if you don't make an effort. And, she's like, I'll try my hardest. And then she just, it was like that in Skypiea too, where like she's just like, yeah, whatever.
She doesn't get too invested. It's fine. They're doing well. Well, Portia's team is doing well. They're like, we don't even need to bother with them. But the Fishman really wants to get revenge on Robin. He's like, this feels wrong. Then all of a sudden, they blast ahead. They're like, what? How'd they get so fast? And that's when Usopp reveals he has an impact dial.
Oh, God.
Which I felt very nervous for him at first until he realized like he just did a minor hit on it. And it still nearly took off his arm.
Yeah, you are no wiper. That is for sure.
No, he is definitely not. Because it really does just give you a sense of how much force was put into the impact dial for Wiper, that he took them all down like that. Like, dear God.
Yep.
So yeah, they got ahead, And they're like, all right, let's go. And Robin starts messing them with them. Oh no, they start pulling ahead again because they don't have that much. The impact dial only does so much. But Robin decides to hitch a ride with her arms until they notice.
Again, her utility is just so good.
She's the best. Nami's immediately like, hey, Usopp, use it again. You don't need your arms, right?
Yeah, those are my arms you're talking about. Yeah, putting these three characters together was the right choice.
Yeah, I love this chapter just because of the interactions between these three. But we do have an obstacle ahead, the Long Coral Reef. There's some sort of obstacle definitely coming ahead, but in the meantime, Foxy and Hamburg have split off, and this visual is so funny to me, is watching Foxy just casually ride Hamburg.
Right. Is he a monkey or what? What is going on here?
I don't know, but I love the commentary where Foxy, he wears an evil expression, the face of someone who's just thought of something evil, and it just ends with, I've just thought of something evil. Oh my God.
You always know what he's thinking.
Yep. I mean, this isn't deep or anything, but this is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. I definitely got this feels like the peak, like the character interactions have just been turned up to 11.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really fun seeing the Straw Hats all just kind of like play off of each other. that to me is more fun than the competition, honestly.
Yeah, just seeing how they handle the competition and get through all this. Plus, it's not direct fights; they're competitions, which is always interesting to see.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get to chapter 308, Obstructive Tactics.
Oh no!
It's like, all right, the cutie wagons at the Long Coral, they're gonna make their way through, and they're like, that's very odd. There's strange whirlpools all around it. So Nami's taking note of that. And Foxy, of course, is on the side looking for a chance to interfere. And all the while, Luffy's like, is someone interfering? I should probably do something about that. And the cook immediately goes, hey, have something to eat. Have some sushi.
Yeah, I love how they just like, they get to everybody's basest instincts here with this gag, where they're just like, oh no, we can't have the other Straw Hats interfere. They get Luffy with the food, and Sanji is just occupied by women.
Chopper's getting a bunch of sweets, and Zoro's drinking.
Yeah, of course.
I missed this the first time. I was like, want a candy apple? Shake, doggy? Like, they're just treating him as a dog.
Yeah, I see. He's like looking at him like, what are you?
Oh, gosh. But yeah, the cutie wagon heads into the coral, and then they immediately circle back. They head in, and they circle back. And Nami's like, aha, I knew it was weird. Let's increase speed.
Nami's time to shine.
Yeah, Nami heads in, but just as they're about to head in, the view is obstructed because of a smoke screen from Foxy. And it's like, you can't get through this. And then she easily got through it.
Yeah, just no question, no. It's just like the immediate next panel. Just
yeah.
Like,
Usopp's like, the boat's moving on its own. What's happening? It's like, it's a current maze. So the whirlpool on the other side of the reef is creating a series of smaller whirlpools. If we enter at the right spots, they'll just carry us through. And we don't even need to worry about not being able to see. So we're good.
it reminds me of those whirlpool puzzles from like Pokemon Gold and Silver, or was it? I think Ruby and Sapphire had some of those too.
Oh yeah,
like kind of having to get on the right path.
Mm-hmm. And then they have another obstacle where there's this long whirlpool that they have to get across. But thanks to Usopp and the impact dial, they not only launch over that, but the piece of land on the other side as well. So they're way ahead at this point.
Yeah, and Usopp's just completely knocked out, just foaming at the mouth.
And then we get this fish power engine, or twin fish power engine from Porsche's team, where the fish man puts himself in the shark's mouth, and he just knocks over all the coral to force his way through.
Brute force.
Yep.
Here comes my favorite my favorite part of the whole chapter here.
I love it.
We just go full Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, where it's like a sign leading this way. Well, we should go this way, and she just Nami knocks out of the way, and Fox's like, "What?"
Oh, she saw right through it. The escalating of like the MC just like chastising Nami. Does this young woman have any trust in her heart?
She's brutish and just all that, and they're ignoring him, and just it's just a constant string of these types of tricks that never work on her, and they're just constantly making fun of her. She's just yelling at him.
Foxy pretending to be like a sick old lady.
Yeah.
Just rowing right past him. And then the fake goal, which she just punches it.
And then the Porsche's team actually think, oh, hey, this is the finish line. It's like, wait, it's a fake.
Yeah, it's like, you're so stupid. You fell for your own team's trap.
Oh, but that's when they see the long bamboo, and Usopp knocks it over and successfully conks out the fish man.
Yeah, which is a good aim. Like,
yeah, really. She attacks back with the Cutie Baton flower shurikens, which thankfully they're able to just barely avoid. And there's a hole in the ship, but the goal is right there. They're almost about to make it. They're definitely going to win. They just no seems to be stopping them. They've got it. And then all of a sudden we learn that Foxy has devil fruit powers, and he uses the slow beam, and that's where we end.
Oh, of course. Yeah, cheating.
Yeah. Oh, it's been cheating the entire time. It's just effective cheating finally.
It's I mean, it's funny that he didn't lead with that. I guess if it was like, the devil fruit power is kind of a secret weapon where he's like, no, all of the dumb Looney Tunes nonsense will certainly get them.
Yeah.
They've pushed him so hard that he had to reveal his devil fruit.
There you go. And yeah, we'll see more about that as we go on. But we do have an SBS with something I did not realize, that the images of the angels that we saw long ago with them, the giants in the shadows, is actually related to a phenomenon actually seen in the real world. It's called the Brocken phenomenon in Germany's Harz Mountains, where, that's where I got it. It's also known as the Brocken specters. And the explanation is just like in the manga. And it also happens in Japan. It happens in a place called, or happens around a rainbow ring that appears around the shadow's head. So that's awesome. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was based on some kind of like some obscure real life science, or if it was just kind of One Piece, or then Oda playing fast and loose with like physics and stuff. But like that is actually pretty strongly based in reality is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It's always a surprise when we get that sort of thing from him. Let's get to chapter 309, Groggy Monsters, where we get a cover page where Robin's just a fashion model at this point.
She really is. Yeah. She's got all the best drip.
Absolutely. Like, it's that classy maturity.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But we get to the chapter, and of course, the cutie wagon has won. They're all cheering. The fishman's not looking so good, but everybody else is cheering. It's like,
yeah, he's still got that little bonk on his head.
They're like, what happened? You guys were winning. What? I don't get it. And of course, they're all like, hey, we get one of your crew. Awesome. And we get an explanation for the slow beam. For them, everything slowed around us. The boats, the waves, everything. And when they returned to normal, they had already crossed the goal. Didn't injure them, didn't do anything else like that. But we get an explanation from Foxy that he's able to emit slowpoke photons.
Okay. I remembered his power. I forgot about the slowpoke photons.
Remember when we talk about Oda using real world science?
Yeah, and then just complete nonsense.
But yes, whatever his light strikes, whether a living creature, liquid, or gas, will maintain all of its other properties but lose velocity. And Luffy calls him an idiot, which makes him get down.
Yep.
And it's like, no, this is all makes sense. I made a slow fruit, so now I can emit those photons. I'm a slowpoke human. So, demonstrate. Shoot a cannon at me. He uses the slowpoke beam, and it's like, so everything the light strikes loses speed. And it lasts about 30 seconds. But until that point, it's as if nothing happens. And all of a sudden, it picks up speed again and explodes on him.
Yep, it just
blows him up.
Of course, just Foxy is just a complete moron. It's hilarious.
You can just never take Foxy seriously. But it is not so great because we've lost a party member, and he had somebody in mind before, and everybody's looking all concerned except Zoro, who's still just drinking.
Yeah.
And the one he decided he wants is the doctor, Chopper.
Chopper, no!
Why did he do it? Because he wanted a rare, cute creature.
Well, it's funny. Like they're all like Sanji and everybody's thinking about it logically. He's like, oh, when you think about it, he is the rarest of rare beasts.
And Nami's like, he's obsessed with cute things. And then Robin's like, maybe he's obsessed with furry things. It's like, oh God, Fox is a furry.
well, I mean, hey, that's the thing is that like his whole crew is Fox themed, which I thought like you would think would have something to do with his devil fruit power, but like no, that's just like his thing.
Yeah, he's just a trickster.
Yeah.
Chopper is immediately taken, put on the ship, given the outfit, so he has the mask, and he's like, I don't like this because I became a sailor because of you guys, because you asked me to. I don't want to be with these guys. And you can see it kind of affecting everyone, especially Luffy. But Zoro, stepping through, it's like, stop blubbering. It's humiliating. The choice to become a sailor was your own. Where you end up is your own fault and no one else's. Pirates have no pity for crybabies. If you're a man, then act like one. And
thanks,
Chopper
Dad.
Immediately sucks it up. Is like, you got it. He just like sits down. It's like, oh.
Aww. Tough love from Zoro.
Yeah, it's still cute though.
I like that Zoro kind of won over the crowd. He's like, that swordsman's cool. Let's take him next.
Yeah. But yeah, we have our next rounds and we can get Chopper back. So we have round 2 coming up. And they realize, wait a second, Chopper was supposed to be in the second round. He's gone now. So what about this? So it's like, oh, can't change your lineup. No substitutions.
Yep. No substitutions. Which, oh God, you see where this is going.
Yep. So for the Groggy Ring Challenge, it's 2 versus 3. And the rules are basically football, except the ball is a person on the team.
Yeah. Each team has their own ball.
And you got to dunk that person into their ring on the opposite side of the field.
I love immediately Zoro on the uptake. You know, somebody from the Foxy crew is like, which one are you the ball? Zoro pointing to Sanji, him.
and immediately causes a fight between the two.
Yeah.
And that's when next we get introduced to the Groggy Monsters taking the field. And they are huge. We got Hamburg, who's already looking big. Next, Pickles, the tackle machine. And finally, a half fish man, half giant, Big Bun, the fish giant.
Big Bun.
That is an interesting couple to have a fish man and a giant together.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't want to think about how that works. But it is funny to me that Hamburg, who we've already been introduced to, is the smallest of them.
Yeah. And of course, the one they designated as their ball is the giant fish man.
Yep.
And Zora's just like, whatever, bring it on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, chapter 310, Groggy Ring.
Oh,
and
there you go.
We had a bit of discussion about this title page because we got a two-page spread here. And because I was like, because I don't know much about Wano other than it's very Japanese themed. I'm like, I wonder if this is like Wano way, way ahead. And then you started looking at the details. You're like, oh crap. It kind of is.
The dragon's pink, and there are some logos on Luffy's outfit, and that's really it. If you know, you know.
I had to laugh. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's too Oda. Oh my goodness. See y'all in 600 chapters.
Right. Go figure. Go figure. Real quick before you in the chapter itself, though, we always get these little pages sometimes showing Panda Man. We don't mention him too often, but I had to mention this one because we have a Panda Man that's part of the Foxy crew, so he has fox ears.
It's really adorable.
Yeah, and he's so like sketchy out. Like it's like you could barely tell that's Panda Man.
You would, I guess that's the fun thing is you really have to look for him to find him.
Mm-hmm. There was an earlier SBS where they were talking about I've counted up and this is how many times Panda Man showed up in this set of chapters or so far, and they're like, did I get it right? And Oda's just like, I don't know. I didn't keep track.
I keep forgetting what like Panda Man's actual origins are. I think like Oda designed him to be like a fan character for Kinnikuman or Ultimate Muscle.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he explained that a long time ago. I forget the origins of Panda Man, but I know he was designed for Ultimate Muscle.
Yeah, it's just what a weird crossover.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we begin the chapter just reintroducing the teams where it's Sanji and Zoro versus these three big guys. And gotta say whether it's going to be field or ball, and they win the coin. They win the coin flip, which means Sanji must start in his opponent's midfield circle, so they get somewhat of an advantage just because he's not protected or anything like that. You win by forcing your opponent's ballman into the opposite ring, and Sanji's like, "You made the decision. I haven't agreed to it yet. I can't wear something this uncool." And then Zoro's like, "Don't whine. Oh, wait, actually, it looks great on you." He's like, "I'm not falling for that."
I love that. The reverse psychology.
Doesn't work, but, there's that. Every time Foxy tries to be, like, all condescending to Luffy,
Yep.
Luffy just calls him a pinhead or an idiot or whatever.
You say something, pinhead?
He just makes him slump over. It's just like, oh. And Foxy's just like, I don't need to interfere in this. Just watch.
Yeah, it seems interesting that they want to play fair sometimes, depending on the player.
Yeah, he's like, some athletes want to win no matter what. Others might want to play fair sometimes. It all depends on how the game is going. And it's like, well, Porsche doesn't want to play fair. Yeah, he's like, if you're a pirate who complains about interference, you really have what it takes to survive on the sea. And that's always
he's got a point.
Yeah, that's always the justification here. It's like, this isn't fair. Well, what about piracy?
Pirates,
is fair?
man.
Suck it up. Which they're not wrong. They're not wrong in that case. So, they're still arguing. They haven't decided yet. And it's all going like that. Nami finally rushes it up. It's like, hey, Sanji, that ball looks great on you. I'll do it.
Yep, just instantly. I love this first lead in, Zoro's like, it really does suit you. You're like the prince of stupid kingdom. And then they're just at each other's necks in the next panel.
Yep. But we also find out that Zoro can't use his swords. And so he has to sheathe them for now. And it's like, well, we've seen his weight training. That doesn't matter.
but Sanji, trying to get a dig in, he's like, is that okay? A sword without a sword is what? Kind of pathetic. And then they're just at it again. This is going to go very poorly.
Oh, it really is.
I feel like this is sort of like, they've always had tension, but this really feels like Oda is playing up their rivalry for the gag.
Definitely
this feels like
cranking it
where
up.
It really this is where it really gets going.
No time limit. It goes until we get a goal. Just one goal is all it takes. So, yep. Okay, we got our set. Let's just bash the fishman into the ring. And it begins. And Sanji immediately jumps over the tackle from the tackle machine and goes for the fishman with his collier. And as soon as he lands on the arm of the fishman, he begins to slip because it turns out Big Bun is a mudfish fishman, so he's slippy.
Oh, that's a good thing. Those genes are dominant, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the perfect person to make your ball. He's huge, and you can't grip him.
Yeah, but
that's not good.
What are you gonna do? Yeah,
drag him by the shorts. He has a Speedo. Yeah. Just drag him by the. Give him a wedgie.
Things very quickly go south for Sanji, where he just gets like yeeted across the entire field.
Yep,
with a punk pass.
Hamburg gets the catch while Zoro has to deal with the tackle machine, and it's not looking so good because Sanji just keeps getting thrown, and even Zoro keeps getting punched away. It's like, oh god, they're gonna lose this immediately.
Yeah, 3v2 at that.
Yeah, and Big Bun immediately jumps in so he can fastball special basically. Hamburg. There's so many names flying around so quickly.
Yeah. So many new characters just left and right.
And Hamburg is able to catch Sanji midair and is getting ready to.
He's going for the dunk.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And Zoro's like, nope, not happening. And Zoro picks up the tackle machine, starts spinning him around like
64 style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And tosses him at Hamburg. All the while, Sanji's like, I'm not letting the swordsman save me. So he reverses on Hamburg and kicks him away so they both collide.
Which is like great. God, it's such a cool sequence, but just like the most unintentional teamwork. And even, as soon as, like, right when they're done, they start arguing again. Stop showing off. Stop getting kicked around, idiot.
This is only the start. Like, who knows how much... Like, I imagine this will only go for, like, one more chapter, but still.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. When it goes fast like this, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to really complain.
I guess we can say it now for those who've not watched the anime. They have 2 rounds of the Davy Back Fight, where in the manga they only have 1.
Yeah.
So
I was
6
trying
games.
to remember exactly. Yeah, it is 6. I forgot when exactly they slip in more, and it's just one of those things where their best shot at trying to stretch something out is to just make you do it again. And it's just kind of like,
On paper, it kind of makes sense, but in practice, it just takes a good gag and stretches it too thin.
Yeah. Like all of these, if they all last like somewhere between 2 and 4 chapters each, like for each game, that's not too bad. But that feels like Oda knows what he's doing. These are all just kind of like light and simple fun. They don't need to last too long. They're probably longer than some fights we've seen. Honestly.
Yeah, really.
But it's the right amount of time for what this is, and I pity the poor anime folks going like, we have to make up material somehow. I really think that did a lot of damage to this arc's reputation. Not that it's fine art or anything in the manga, but it's just fun. Yeah, it's just fun.
It is pure dumb fun. It is kind of basically like sticking a movie right in the middle of like right after Skypiea.
Yeah.
So, go figure. Well, with that, I believe we've said all we wanted to say about chapters 306 to 310 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or BitNerd with an underscore at the end on Twitter. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I'm at Brandon Bovia on Twitter, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. Just had a couple of volumes of stuff come out. A new volume of Kaiju number 8. So I went and showed off some of my work on that. Last volume of Hunter's Guild Red Hood coming out in print, which was a infamously cut short Shonen Jump series, and I think it's pretty good. And if you're if you're keen, check that out. It's really uncommon that got a full print release here, but I'm glad it did, and I put a lot of work into it.
And I believe the new chapter of Dragon Ball came out today.
Oh, yeah. It's just more superhero, honestly. Although it was cool, it's superhero, so I don't want to be like, oh, not to spoil it, but it's the movie. But it is cool because it is Broly's manga debut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, we're actually seeing him, because the manga acknowledges that, like, the Broly movie happened. But like they basically just have like a 2-page spread where they're like, oh yeah, the Broly movie happened. Moving on. And so we were all wondering like, okay, so he's here. So when's he going to show up? So it's kind of cool that they're just like, okay, he's here now.
Yeah, that's fun. That's good stuff. So yeah, check that out. And if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner. That's DERRICKBITNER to listen to the next episode 3 days early. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 311 to 315 of One Piece. Until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
What is that?
Looks like a course marker.
Turn right.
Ah, guess we'll turn right then. Like how we will!
What's this? She broke it! Our boss's ploy number 18, Operation Lie to Them, has failed! What a formidable woman! Does she not believe in anything in this world?
Can it, jackass?
She's foul-mouthed, too!